welcome back. So today I filmed this kind of very smoky look. I very rarely use black in my tutorials. I don't really know why, but I decided to put some black in and it's just very smoky, and I decided to go with a really dark lip, and I absolutely love how it came out. It's like so vampy and just like, you know? And I got like a ton of sparkly backgrounds. I ordered like a bunch of them off of Amazon, and this is the first time I've used any of them, and like I love this, right? Like I really love it. So I did use all Makeup Geek eyeshadows for this look, and those eyeshadows are amazing and they're super inexpensive, so I will list all of the ones that I used down below. So if you would like to see how I created this look, then just keep watching. So starting off this makeup look, I'm just taking my MAC paint pot in the color Soft Ochre, and I'm just putting this all over my eyelids to prep my eyelids for eyeshadow and to kind of color correct and get rid of all of the veins. And I'm just putting it on with a Zoeva Rose Golden Volume 3 brush. I love this brush to apply my primers. And then I'm just going to be setting all of that with just a loose powder. I used the Laura Mercier. And then just going in with some Scotch tape. I did put it on the back of my hand to kind of take away the tackiness, and I'm just putting it on my eye. And then I'm going in with Makeup Geek Peach Smoothie. I'm putting this on my Sigma E40 blending brush, just blending it from inner corner all the way to outer corner and kind of making it in a V out shape motion. Since we do have that tape there, it is kind of like a guard so you won't go too far. And then going in with the color Creme Brulee on that same brush, the Sigma E40, and I'm putting it basically in the same spot except for just a little bit lower. So every shadow that we add, we're just going to be putting everyone just a little bit lower than the last one. The next one we're going in with is Frappe on this Sigma E25 blending brush, and I'm just putting this just a little bit lower than that other shade because we want everything to be super, super gradient. After every shadow that you add, you want to make sure you go back in with your big blending brush just to make sure all of the edges are nicely blended. You do not want to have any harsh lines in any of these looks. I repeat, any of the looks. You never want to have harsh lines. So I'm just taking my blending brush, and then I'm going back in with that same color, the Frappe color, with my Sigma E25 blending brush just to deepen it up a little bit more. And then the next color I'm going in with is Makeup Geek Cocoa Bear. I love this color. It is such a staple color. And I'm just putting it on once again with my Sigma E25 blending brush and just putting it a little lower than the other colors. This one is just a bit darker than Frappe, and we're getting a little more into the red colors. And then once again going back in with the Sigma E40 blending brush just to make sure all of the edges are blended. And then once again adding a little bit more of that color just because I want it to be a little bit deeper and a little bit darker because I love my warm shades. Then of course going back in with the Sigma E40 blending brush just to make sure all of the edges are nice and seamless. So after we do all of our blending, we're going to go in with the color Mocha from Frappe. It is a deeper brown shade that is not very warm. And we're putting it on with a Sigma E36 brush. I love this brush because it's a very precise crease brush, and you can put it exactly where you want it. So for this color, I'm only putting it in the very outer V of my eye because that's where I want it to be the deepest. And then going back in with my Sigma E25 blending brush just to make sure those colors are nicely smushed together. And then I'm going to go back in with my E40 blending brush just to make sure all of the other edges are nice and blended. And then I'm going to go back in with the E36 blending brush just to add a little bit more of that color because I wanted it to be a bit deeper, but I didn't want to add the black yet. So after I was happy with how that looked, I removed the tape, and then I made sure that it was all perfect on the edges, and then I got out my pigment. And the pigment that I'm using is also from Makeup Geek. I love Makeup Geek eyeshadows. They are just so pigmented and so inexpensive. And the pigment that I'm using is the Afterglow pigment. I love this. It is like a beautiful champagne-y color, and I'm just using it on a Sigma kind of flat brush. I did spray my brush with Fix Plus just because I wanted it to be very pigmented and I needed it to stick to my eye, and I'm just putting it all over the area that I did not have any other product. And then I will be blending it out after it's dry. It's very important to wait for this to dry before you blend it out, or it's going to be extremely hard to blend. And I just kind of blended the edge of that with the other colors that we had. And then I will be going in with my eyeliner. This is eyeliner from the Balm. I love this eyeliner. I'll leave the name of it down below. I can't remember off the top of my hand what it was called, but it just makes doing eyeliner so easy. And after I did this, I realized I probably should have left the tape on just because it probably would have been a lot easier to do my eyeliner, but it came out all right. And then going into the Urban Decay Gwen Stefani palette, I just wanted to use a really black shade, and the blackest black that I know of is the Blackout by Urban Decay, so I went in with that one, but Makeup Geek does have a black shade as well, and I'm just going in with that same E36 brush and putting it basically where we put that deep brown, except for concentrating it a little bit closer and in the less spot. Does that make sense? So then I'm going to blend it out with this brush as well, and then I will go back in with my Sigma E25 blending brush just to make sure those edges are nice and seamless, because once again, we don't want the edges to be too harsh. And then I'm going to go in with this tiny little shader brush from Zoeva, and I'm just putting it really densely onto that onto that eyeliner, and kind of pushing it in everywhere that I want it to be deeper, because I didn't think that it was smoked out enough and I didn't think it was deep enough. So I'm kind of just pressing it, you can see here, into that wing exactly where I want it, and then I'll go in with that small little this brush right here, the little crease brush, just to kind of very softly blend out that black color, because we want to make sure we keep it where it's at, but it needs to be nice and blended. So going in with this Revlon glitter pen in Topaz Twinkle, I decided to add just a little bit of glitter to the eyelid. I love this glitter. It's so inexpensive and it's from the drugstore, but it does an amazing job. And then I will be going in with mascara, and this mascara is from Ciate. And for lashes, I'm going in with Huda Beauty Farah. Those are my favorites. And then going in with this Becca Under Eye Brightener. And I'm just putting it all over everywhere where I get darkness. And then going in with my Tarte of the Sea concealer. I do like this concealer. It is not as moisturizing as like the NARS one, but it is a nice coverage. It just doesn't keep my under eyes as hydrated. And I'm just bouncing it out with this contour sponge. Once again, it is my favorite. I talked about it in my April favorites video. And I'm just putting this everywhere that I want to be nice and bright. I am doing it in sections just because it does tend to dry kind of quickly, and I didn't want it to kind of be stuck there. So, and then just putting it on all the other areas that I want to be bright. So on my forehead, on my chin, and down the bridge of my nose. And then if you've been watching me for a while, you know that I am in love with this Chanel Tan de Soleil bronzer. It is just amazing. I'm using it with my Sigma F84 Kabuki brush. This is the best brush I have found to blend out cream contouring. I absolutely love it. It is my absolute favorite, and I'm just putting this everywhere where I would normally contour or bronze. And then I'll be setting my under eye concealer with this Laura Mercier translucent setting powder, one of my favorites. And this is just a Sigma tapered face brush, and I'm just putting that everywhere I had the concealer, and then going in with my Hourglass bronzer. I haven't used this in a very long time, so I decided just to use that everywhere that we put that cream bronzer, just to set that area. And then for the lower lash line, I decided to go back in with the color Cocoa Bear, just on a Sigma E25 blending brush. I just really wanted to smoke that lower lash line out a lot. And then taking Shimma Shimma by Makeup Geek, I'm just putting this into my inner corners because I want them to be very, very, very glowy. So I put on lots and lots of layers. And then just putting a couple coats of mascara on my bottom lashes just to make sure they get some love as well. And then going in with blush, I'm picking up the color Dallas by Benefit. I love this blush, and I'm using it on the Morphe E4 brush. And then going in with my Becca Cosmetics Opal highlight, I'm just using this on a Sigma highlighter base brush and putting it onto my cheekbones, down the bridge of my nose, and on my Cupid's bow. And then for lips, I'm going in with my Ofra Cosmetics lip liner in the color Chestnut, and then I will be topping that off with my Ofra Cosmetics liquid lipstick in the color Brooklyn.